Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to be here with you. This is our first Facebook Live. I wanted to help parents who already have Lovevery, might have the play gym, might have the play kits, help you understand how they work together as a system. And if you don't have the play gym or don't have the play kits, I also just want to help you understand like the intention behind why we put these products together, how it can help you and your baby have the most meaningful time together. So oftentimes there's like so much happening in the first 6 months, like whether it's your first child or your fifth child. And we talked to a customer yesterday who has her fifth, and I just like, oh my gosh, I loved speaking to her about all of the ins and outs of having so many darling children. And for whether kind of wherever you're coming from, I think that it's really hard to think about anything past like your baby's sleep, all the feeding issues, and then just like really kind of getting beyond like maybe even figuring out how to like adjust to your new life with your baby and adjust your body and all of the changes that are happening physically, to then think about what is happening with my baby's brain development. This is like a whole nother level. And I want to let you know that we set out to create this company to really partner with you and help you feel like you've got that piece covered, because it's almost like the play piece is the easiest and the funnest, and we want to make this like the most meaningful way for you to connect with your baby. I had an experience where we had like a lot of flashing light toys and like a lot of stuff around, and I just found that I wasn't connecting with my baby the way I wanted to, and I didn't really know what was going on with his development, like stage by stage. I knew that 80% of the brain is developed by age 3, but I didn't really know what that meant. So I really want to help you guys understand this. I'm also going to nerd out on some of the details of the products and help you understand like maybe how to make it come to life a little bit more in your home. So for those of you who have the play gym, I have two things that I really want to make sure everybody knows about. So if you already have the play gym at home and you've got a newborn or even like a 3-4 month old, they are still craving black and white images. So they're really seeing best in high contrast and building brain eye connections. And they're really craving more and more complexity and kind of like a steady diet of newness, of like new images to look at. So I don't have the play space cover with me for some reason today. Like my kit didn't come with it because it came from my office and I must have stolen it from some other thing. But what I love to tell parents is with babies kind of like 0 to 4 months, flip that play space cover over where the black and white polka dots are on the inside, and put your baby in and let them just discover from every angle, turning their head. All they see are this delightful like black and white images that they're craving so much. So that's a super fun way to get your baby engaged. You probably haven't tried that a lot because I've heard from a lot of parents that that's sort of like a new idea, but that play space cover is super fun when they're older, but it's also really great to engage them when they're infants. I also wanted to share that we have these clips, and a lot of people don't know that these are actually clips meant to give your baby overhead stimulation. So oftentimes we think that the best pace for the baby is either on their tummy or up in a carrier with you or in a car seat, or kind of up in a kind of baby seat while you're cooking. Actually, the best place for your baby to be is on the floor, and they don't always have to be on their tummy. They can be on their back and their side, and they're getting so many benefits from that. So putting these cards in overhead gives them something to look at. So you've got 3 different clips. You can put the mirror card in, you can put black and white cards and flip them around. And then when they're starting to sort of recognize at one and starting to kind of understand that receptive language, they're gonna love to see these picture cards. So that's a little bit about the 2 tricks that I love to share about the gym that oftentimes people don't know about. I wanted to also share with you that oftentimes parents are saying like, I have the gym, do I really need the kits? Or I have the kits, do I really need the gym? And I want to share that these really do work together as a holistic system for your baby's development. And I want to give you a little bit more of the nuances of why. So the gym is this place where a lot of gross motor development can happen. The batting ring is designed to be able to allow your baby to really bat and start to take in the world and see the connection between their arm and something that's kind of hanging up overhead. The play guide has activities that are very specific to the gym. It also gives you a little bit of overview about baby's development, but the play guides in the play kits go a lot deeper into child development. So So the gym is really great for that place, safe place for baby to kind of stretch out of the womb position, get on their belly, really kind of grow physically and also, cognitively in so many ways. The play kit items really complement that development. And so let me show you. I want to open up the looker. And some people are saying is Lovevery really worth the price? Is it worth it for me to get these kits and the gym and all of it? And I will say a couple things. One is that we have put so much intention and taken all of this child development science and obsessed over just what your baby needs now. And then people might say well, but I could maybe cherry pick and find a few of the items on Amazon and I'll go buy those toys and I'll find them. And I will say again that sometimes you can find similar items in other places, but the obsession that we take and the play studies that we do around every detail and every product really makes a difference. So you can find mobiles, for example, in other places, but I will tell you that this black and white spiral mobile that comes in the Looker play kit right here, so you can see that from your baby's view, is so riveting to your baby. And I really encourage you to hang this mobile if you haven't taken the chance, because it is kind of a pain to hang something from the ceiling. I know, but it's so worth it. It will actually buy you, over the course of your baby's young life, hours of entertainment for your baby and also meaningful brain-eye connections. So this is the mobile that comes in the Looker play kit. And then around 4 months, we encourage you to extend this to be, you can flip this over by just inserting this little string, and there's a little hole in here and you poke it through the hole, and I might not have the fine motor coordination to do it right in this second, but you can poke it through, there we go, and you can pull it through like this to make it work on the colored side. So now your baby is able to see a whole new perspective. So the other thing that I kind of help parents understand is that these items, all of these items, a lot of them actually extend to later months. So you might think, oh, I'm going to have to pay $80 for just a few months of my baby's life. No, so many of the items extend as they get older. And a lot of parents are telling us that this is really the main stuff that they get for their baby and that's enough, along with all the DIY activities that we have and the information of other ways to engage, in real life, which is with real life play, which is really where it's at for babies. This is it. So I also wanted to say, just before I get into the Looker unboxing, another point on, the why is that parents will say often oh, I'll go get these items somewhere else, or I'll do all the research. I can totally do this. I have time. This is a lot of money. And I will say over and over again, we hear from parents, once they do subscribe, they are so glad they did. And they're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because you think you're going to do all the research. You think you're going to buy all these things. And you think you're going to take the time that's needed to invest in your child's early learning. But it's who does have the time? And we have obsessed over every last kind of piece of content that we share with you, not only the products, but also the information. So if parents are kind of part of the system, we encourage you to subscribe to the play kit, have the gym, but then also listen to the podcast. We have these sort of overarching concepts around early childhood development that are so meaningful. They're in just 20-minute segments. They're short. They're really to the point. We don't have any fluff, no ads, no extra kind of intro conversations. It just gets right to the point of what you need to know. We have weekly emails that you can sign up for the blog that give you weekly kind of content that complements what comes in the play guide. And then we have this play guide, which is really kind of a mini book on child development, just based on what you need to know for this stage, which activates play with these items, also brings in the best of Pinterest. So all of this kind of creates this whole perspective around feeling confident that you are doing everything you need to do. You've got it covered on the play. Sleep is hard, feeding can be really hard, but play can be fun and meaningful and actually really beneficial for your baby, and it's within reach. So I'm going to keep opening the Looker play kit. So it comes with this play guide, and in the guide we talk about kind of what to expect at each stage. So this is kind of a nice checklist to know when do I need to worry about anything? Is this okay? Am my baby tracking? And we measure this based on all of kind of the CDC guidelines and any other guidelines that you might need to know about. We bring that all and distill it to just what you need to know about this stage. And then we have the why behind the products. What's the science? Like, what's the nerdy reason why my baby is enjoying black and white images? What's happening in their brain? And then all these different ways to activate play. It's hard to be creative and like think of everything. And then we've kind of taken the best of Pinterest and everything you kind of need to know about the stage and put it in the back. So we've got all of this baby development information, skin on skin, for example, like why it's actually so important for your baby to have skin on skin after the hospital. It's just not just for hospital time. That studies show that their brain architecture is building and lighting up through your touch with your skin and their skin. And we give little tips about how to make that practically happen. So back to the Looker Play Kit. It comes with this black and white mobile, and I would say save this mobile until your baby is, 6 months old. They're still going to really enjoy looking at these colorful images on the other side, and it just moves ever so slightly with the air, and so we've designed this to be just right for visual stimulation. We also include these little black and white mittens. These mittens are not actually kind of like the typical anti-scratch mittens. These are for allowing your baby to have help in recognizing that their hands belong to them. So they're going to go through a phase where they start to recognize that they have hands. Putting these mittens on will be so fun because your baby then is kind of like a toy. They can't hold toys yet. They can't reach out and grasp, but they have these mittens on their hands that give them this kind of movement and black and white stimulation. They look so simple, but they're so fun for your baby at this age. We also include a travel card holder where you can put cards in, and I know we're not traveling a whole lot these days, but there's still the times where we need to go to a doctor's appointment, and just having some stimulation for your baby can make those car rides go so much easier. We've also heard from parents that they like to prop this up in different places, but it comes with this. We include this black and white set of cards. They're distinct and different from the black and white cards in the gym for a reason, because again, your baby is just like craving black and white stimulation. We have a simple side and a complex side, and there are a bunch of cards in here. And so I can't tell you, you're gonna want like more cards than this. Like you're gonna feel like I have so many cards, but my baby is just wanting to look, they're craving that stimulation, they want novelty. So we have all of these cards that come with it, and then so you can put the cards in the black and white holder. And again, we recommend starting with the simple side and then flipping over to the complex. It's also super fun to like print if you can swing it when your baby gets a little older. You can save this and print your own family photos and have them be able to look at like grandma or an aunt or uncle in the car, and they can just have their little friends with them when you're driving around. So this is fun to keep and put your own photos in later. This card holder is really great for anywhere. So the Play Gym also has a card holder. This is great for when your baby is on the gym, on their tummy or sideline, and this allows for even greater flexibility. So if you include both of them, and you have the Play Gym cards, and you also have the card holder here, and you can put the black and white cards in, you can give your baby actually a really broad range. Oops, sorry, this is upside down. A broad range of motion when they are looking and lying on their side and lying on their belly, and eventually giving them motivation to roll over. So we encourage you to kind of have this. You can have this up in the gym when they're sidelined, but they are encouraged to turn their head and move their body in a much bigger way when you have both here plus overhead. It gives them really like a lot to look at in a big environment. So travel. This is the card holder, which is really fun to bring anywhere on the go, in the nursery, whatever, where you don't necessarily have the gym. It's also super fun to put family photos in, so you can take it to go. So I would save this also for when they're 6-7 months old and starting to love looking at pictures. This is a really fun way for them to engage and see a lot of their family that might be far away right now. And so it comes with this card set, and then we have this black and white book, which is so sweet. And you'd be amazed at how long your baby is going to want to look at the whale or the little bird or the fish. It's so fun. I have parents who are like, my baby just loves that bird. They cannot stop looking at this bird. They're like going on for like minutes. A fun way to read to your baby with this book is actually in this position where you have your baby on your lap and you're maybe relaxing and have your feet up on an ottoman. You can hold the book facing them so they can still see your face. You can talk about the images if you want, or you can flip the pages slowly, let them look, but they can then see you, so their head is here, they can see you and see the books. It's a fun tip. Again, we include all these tips in our blog and on our podcast and in our play guide. We have like a lot of different ideas for just kind of how to be with your baby at this age. This rattle is super fun. I also recommend keeping this rattle for a while because your baby's going to love to hang on to this and chew on the silicone. So this is a great teether. This is like a top favorite teether, actually, for well into kind of later babyhood. This is great for visual tracking and sound tracking. And then we include the sweet lyrics to lullabies because it's like really easy to forget the words, but we just want to have this handy for you so that you can sing to your baby, because singing is so great for their, they actually tune in even more to song than they do to language, to like words. So no matter what your voice is, sing to your baby, it's so good for them. Did we have any questions on the baby stage, the infant stage, the 0 to 3 months age? And then I'll get into the charmer.
For premature babies, what is the correct date to go off of?
Yeah, so for babies, we recommend actually that we focus on their due date and not their birth date, because that is really kind of where child development professionals kind of recommend you begin thinking about their development from a cognitive and physical standpoint. So we do recommend you actually put in their due date. If they were born a couple weeks early or 3 weeks early or more, you can actually use, for preemies, you can use their due date as the date that the kids come. You'll find a little bit more, they're going to be tuning in a little bit more to the development products. And then over time, you can adjust it, but I think especially in that first year, it can make a difference.
And then for the subscription program, how often does it get delivered?
Okay, so this first kit covers the first 3 months of life, so the first 12 weeks, and then on that right around 12 weeks, we'll be sending you the charmer. So this is the next kit for 3-4-month-olds. And at this stage, they are really starting to, if you have a 3-4-month-old, they're so cute. They just like are so charming, right? They like smile at you and they're just so sweet. You can almost see their little personalities. And so this is a 3-4 month. They're reaching towards the end of this age period. They're starting to be able to get something, reach for it, and then actually slowly pull it into their mouths, which is a really big deal. They love to learn. They're learning so much from their mouth. Actually, the mouth has so much like sensory input. It has so many nerve cells. And this is actually one of the primary ways that they're taking in the world at this age. So in the beginning, they're really taking in the world through their eyes. And then they start taking the world in through their mouth. So this play kit comes with all sorts of things. I will say that the product that we kind of say is the hero product, if you will, is this soft book. And you might be like, whatever, I can get a soft book somewhere else. You know, on Amazon, they have a bunch of soft books. This is organic, so you can feel confident if your baby is like, you know, it's baby safe and organic. It's made with organic cotton. But it also is, we've designed this so intentionally. We put in like hundreds of hours of play studies that go into each of these products, and we've just obsessed over what your baby wants to learn at this age. And you know, frankly, there's a lot of universal things. You might think your baby is unique and different. Every baby is of course different, but there's also these very predictable development windows that are opening and closing your baby's brain. We're really obsessed and tuned into those, and all of our experts are advising us when we develop these products. So we know that, for example, offering a soft book with the ribbons, where you can allow them to, you can put this over their head, for example, and allow them to reach for these ribbons dangling down. You can stroke their little skin with the ribbons. You'll notice that they're going to want to reach for them. That we have these visual cards that are getting more complex. They're still really into black and white. Up until about 18, 19 weeks, we find that babies just really crave, again, that black and white stimulation. So you have additional cards for the card holder, and then this can become like a sweet photo book, as we keep saying. But it's really fun to have this. So you put the photo cards in, and then this has a lot of rattle, texture. This book makes tummy time flyby for your baby. So really, if you think about tummy time, a lot of parents are having a hard time with tummy time, especially at this age or even a little bit before. And really, tummy time is a play position where they need engagement and entertainment. They want to be, it's not like the tummy time is where it's at. It's really about, I'm going to play in this position. So this book is perfect because you can turn the pages, give them extra stimulation as they're going. This is a great crinkle. You can put the mirror card in here, which is really fun. You can have these black and white cards. We have a little dog and a little cat and a snail. They can crinkle. And then we also have these hide-in pockets. So these are great for hiding things like the rainbow teether. So you can hide the rainbow teether, and you'll be surprised, but if you actually at this age, if you can just show them that something could be partially hidden, they're getting that very beginning understanding of object permanence. And so if you just hide it just halfway, you covering it up halfway, you might notice your baby's like really tuned in, like, wait a minute, where did the other half of that go? I think it's hidden. I think it's still, they're starting to, be able to put together that things still exist, even though they're not, easy to see. So you're starting to build that understanding of object permanence, which will happen for many, many months and even a year for them to really understand that whole concept. But that's why we have these little pockets. And we have a pocket in the back. And this is just great. It's like a staple. It washes up really well. It's really fun. So this is like one of our favorite items in this play kit. Another favorite is this big, beautiful mirror that you can see. I say beautiful because you're going to be able to see your baby's beautiful face in this mirror. And I'm not going to flash it to you because you're going to see we're in my kitchen actually. You're going to see like my dining room table over there and all this stuff. But it has a black and white side and a mirror side. And it's great to move around. So some people like to kind of prop it up somewhere and leave it there. This is actually really great if you want to put your baby in a tummy time position over your legs, which can actually help them a little bit. You can use the mirror. You can help them lift up a little bit more in tummy time by showing them the mirror. They won't know it's them in the mirror, but they are going to love seeing you through the mirror. And then seeing that other little baby smiling at them and cooing at them, it's super fun. So we really obsessed over the size of this. We wanted to make sure that it was the right dimensions and the right durability so you can just have it around, but a mirror for play is great. And we totally recommend saving this because your toddler is gonna love having a get ready station. So in Montessori, we often have like a little station where they can comb their hair and they can get ready. And so we included these little notches so you can hang it up on your toddler's wall. So they can have like this kind of Montessori getting ready station. So again, we really recommend saving this. We also have a simple wooden rattle that makes just such a delightful noise. This is really great for grasping and reaching and for sound tracking. So your baby is just now starting to be able to track sounds with their head, turn their head. So you can do these sound tracking exercises and they're gonna love to just mouth this and hang on to it. It's perfect kind of ergonomics for their little fist to be able to grip. And it's just a classic rattle. Like, what happened to the wooden rattle? We want like a classic, I think a lot of us like want those classic things that we had when we were babies that sort of like kind of went out of fashion. So they're classic for a reason, and this is just really helpful for babies to have that kind of stimulation. This wobbler is really fun. I think I have I can show it to you on the mirror here, but it actually wobbles away from your baby. It also is really great for water play. So a lot of parents say, like, my baby just doesn't like tummy time. Well, we need to just up the stimulation and the excitement for tummy time. So one of the things that we recommend in the blog and in the play guide is a DIY activity where you put just a shallow amount of water, and you obviously are supervising your baby 100% during this activity, but you let them watch the wobbler, and just eventually they're going to be able to kind of put their hands out in tummy time. And so this wobbler is really great. 9-10-month-olds love this wobbler. So we oftentimes say in the play kits that this is just the beginning of when these items are interesting to your baby. Many of them will be interesting to your baby for many, many more months past the age range that's on the kit. So your baby's gonna love this wobbler. We have some really fun activities with like ice and water, and rolls away from them, so it gets them really moving. It gets them into that like army crawl, and gets their body moving. We have this simple rolling bell, which is really fun to put on a wood floor. We have a natural rubber teether. You know, we oftentimes think about, like, we're really thoughtful about what your baby's putting in their mouth. Again, we use all water-based paint, sustainably harvested wood. This is natural rubber. And then we have like this hand-to-hand transfer disc, which is for moving objects from one hand to another, which is a really complex skill for your baby. So that is the charmer. Any other questions on the charmer? We can go into the sensor. Great. So sensor is a great kit that has a lot of extension too. So again, many more ways to play, a lot of child development expertise, all distilled down so that you can just know just what you need to know and you don't have to do a lot of research. And one of our favorite items is the tissue box. So this item, your baby actually will begin to engage with a tissue box at this age, but they will love this until they're like, we love to play games of like a Montessori kind of find the objects. So you take the tissues out and then you put in rocks and other objects and they have to feel the textures and guess what it is before pulling it out. They're gonna love this tissue box like at 2 and beyond. So this is a great investment piece. Oftentimes, here's another example. Like you can see other people have copied this. Like there are other kind of concepts of tissues out in the market, and they don't function the same way. So our tissues are linked, and I will show you how to link them. But your baby around 1 will be able to pull these out. Now, what you can do with your baby at this age, at 5-6 months, you can actually put it while they're on their belly, and they need a lot of belly time. Until they're really crawling, they need belly time. So they need tummy time a lot longer than we often think. But you can play with these tissues. They're so simple, but if you put them in a little semicircle around them while they're on their tummies, and it's kind of hard to see, but if you put them in a little semicircle, they're going to start to rotate on their tummy and try and get at the different tissues. They're going to want to, you can pull them out for them, and then eventually they're going to be able to start reaching during tummy time and reaching for these tissues, and that really starts to build that strength and that balance for sitting and then eventually crawling. So how you link them, there's this little buttonhole, and you actually put the corner that does not have the buttonhole with a little dotted stitching. You just poke it right through that buttonhole, and then you link them, and you just stuff them in the bottom of the tissue box, and you link the tissues. It's like really pretty easy, and you just stuff them in, and it's got a magnet bottom, and you just can pull them out. It's just really fun. This rainbow spinner is so great for, again, on your baby on their belly, reaching for this rainbow spinner. You can spin it for them in the beginning. Eventually, they're going to use 2 hands to be able to spin it and 1 hand to spin it, and this is all building like great cognitive connection that they are activating a toy, but it doesn't have any flashing lights. It doesn't have any of the like plastic batteries. It's like a really natural cause and effect. They're really learning real world cause and effect. This rainbow ball is beautiful, but it also has these slices, so you can have your baby can actually hold a ball before they can really grasp something. And so giving them this ball is great for eventually hand-to-hand transfer. We love to suggest you keep this ball. This is a great one, again, to keep. This rainbow spinner, you can actually, as a toddler, you can add, or as an older baby, you can add different textures to the front, but this, again, lasts many months past the age band of this kit. And then you might think, oh, I have board books. I have board books at home. We have been so intentional about the imagery that we're using. The reason we're putting the child's whole face in this book, in each of these books, is because they crave real pictures of other babies, of other children, and they're really starting to understand that 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth makes a face at this age. So even though we're talking about eyes here, we're showing the whole face. We're not just showing eyes, because your baby won't actually understand. If they're just seeing eyes, they won't really start to grasp the concept of eyes unless they're seeing it in context of a whole face. So it's just an example of how we obsess over our books. These books are actually really, really loved and become like a part of your child's library, and they will come back to them as toddlers. They're gonna wanna keep reading them. We hear this over and over again. The Lovevery books are their children's favorite books. So it's really worth it in terms of an investment. Rattle socks make a great sound. They're really fun for kicking play. Kicking actually helps your baby build strength for rolling over. And also, they're really fun. We have an activity where you put the socks on their hands. We have so many ideas of ways to play in the play guide. So these socks are great for extended play. I think that is it. I don't know if we have any other questions, but it's been so fun being with you.
Just 2 questions.
Okay.
What's the best way to introduce each item?
Oh, that is such a good question. And parents do it all different ways. So some parents are just like so waiting for that next box. You'd think it's a lot of stuff, but actually, like, we find that parents are like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready for the next play kit. And right when it comes right at the right time when you're really ready. Some parents just, offer everything to their baby and have to let them explore. And other parents offer them, their baby, maybe introduce one toy at a time. We do know that fewer playthings actually makes a difference, and that's why, again, we've kind of created this holistic system. We have this roadmap for when to introduce, if you want to do kind of a stage-based introduction. We include, for example, that the spinning rainbow is something you can introduce later in this age band. It will be really interesting to your baby a little bit later. The wobbler, the same thing, and the tissues. Whereas the socks and the book and the ball are all things that a 3-month-old, a 13-week-old can really activate and be excited about right away. So you can do it all different ways, but I think that a lot of parents have had success with spacing these items out and feeling like their baby is getting really deep play by doing that.
Final question is, do you have plans to expand the play kits?
We definitely have plans because we don't want to let you down. We have so many customers and we've been so honored and grateful to have this relationship with you, and we want to continue. We're like loving every minute of every Instagram tag, and every time we get to see your babies, like, it lights up our day, and so we really want to be there for you as your children grow up. Bye. Thank you so much for being with us.